Good morning, everyone. It's seriously a great pleasure to be here today. I am Eleonora Santecchia. And where do I come from? I come from Italy, and I was born in a very small town where you see the red flag, and it's so small that I had to write the name by myself because Google Maps wasn't showing it. And I'm actually working in Ancona, in this beautiful university, the Marche Polytechnic University, as assistant professor in metallurgy. But also, I am the vice president of SphereCube, which is an academic spin-off of my university and is a startup. And I'm about to show you, by the end of this presentation, what do we do in our startup and why is it so important for me and for my path. Is it the key thing showing you how small was my town? I think it is, because all the story starts from here. 3D words. I decided to use these 3 words: dedication, defeat, development. And these are the 3 chapters that I will run you through. The first one day, is dedication. If you look for the meaning of dedication, you'll find it quite easily, and it is about being committed to a task or purpose. But what I love about the word dedication is that one of its synonyms is enthusiasm. I've always been a very enthusiastic person, human being, since the beginning. And I was in this very small town surrounded by hills and nature. And all I wanted to be when I was young was a rock star. In my hometown, your free time can be used to do 2 things. Either you play soccer or you play in a band. And despite the fact that I was quite a good soccer player, I decided to go for the second option. And together with my closest friends, my dearest friends, we put up our rock band. We were quite good, the Checkpoint Charlies. And why am I showing this to you? It's because for us, this was the first experience as entrepreneurs. Because if you think about it, we had to schedule our meetings, we had to set up goals, we had to work to find out locations for our concerts, for the gigs, and we had to be focused during our rehearsals because we wanted to have success. And great things, we had talent and skills. We had a great passions, and the foundation of our band was a very strong friendship. But it turns out that we are not playing anymore, and despite the fact that we published 1 album, 1.5, I can say, we didn't reach any remarkable success. So what happened? It happened that we didn't have a clear plan, and we were not willing to compromise. There was this brand which was interested in us, and they asked us to make some changes, and we were like, no way. We are not making the song shorter. We are not changing the way we play. We are not changing our name. We are not doing anything, because that's our nature. That's our identity. And also, we have different interests. We were all studying different things at school, and then after that at the university. So we wanted to have success, but we were not really focusing on this. This was not our first goal. So I have to say that we had a bit of lack of commitment. We were waiting for things to happen instead of pursuing them 100%. So what do you do when plan A doesn't go as you wish? You go for plan B, which in my case, I was very good in writing, poetry, piano playing, and my biggest flaws were math and calculus. So it totally makes sense to enroll in mechanical engineering. So why did I do that? I still asking myself as I saying this to you, why did I do that? I did this because I wanted to improve my knowledge. I wanted to enrich myself. Everyone around me was telling me to go for literature or history, but I was like, no, I know I'm good at writing. I know the things I'm good at. I want to see what happens if I put myself in the most uncomfortable position, that is, going for the things you're not good at. Can you improve yourself? This opened my views. This made me get in touch with some of the greatest persons that I've met in my life, and that actually became my mentors, as the Frino shows, and they are key persons in your life. And this gave me a huge motivation, because I wanted to show everyone that I was more than a pretty good writer. I could have been more than that. And not only this, I actually enrolled in, let's say, the less girly thing in the world of academia, probably. And everyone in my town was like, yeah, you're a girl. What are you supposed to achieve in mechanical engineering? That's a man thing. Well, there's nothing in the enrollment paper that says that you should be a man to do that. And not only I succeeded in finishing my academic course, but it actually gave me the possibility to enroll for PhD and then for a postdoc, which brought me on the other side of the world. So from my small town to Qatar, I went to Doha for a 2 years postdoc, and that was the experience that totally changed my life, my point of view, and the way I was, my world was shaping. And again, I was a married woman from a very small town, which basically left the family to work in Middle East. Actually, my husband, which is still my husband, thank God, he was very supportive. And he was the one who pushed me to go there. And well, what happened there? It happened that I learned to be open to criticism, to change my point of view, to not be so strict, so directed. I learned to listen, to really listen to the others. And this was a very powerful, very powerful experience. And this brought us to the second chapter, the second D, which is the fit. In this case, I wasn't the one who defeated somebody, but I was the one who was defeated. This guy right here is one of my dearest friends. I met him at the university during the mechanical engineering lessons, and he came to me one day with an idea which could have changed the world of glass as we know it right now. And he was looking for somebody to help him. He was going through a lot in his life. I was going through the hardest moment of my life so far. So both of us needed something to focus our energy and our positive vibes on, something that could have saved us. And we founded Ice Glass. And it was, let's say, the second entrepreneur experience of my life. And we were really working towards our goals. We were really doing our best to reach our final goal. And we tried our best. We won a business plan competition. We had a brilliant idea. We have our strong friendship, but we didn't succeed. And not only we didn't succeed, we reached absolutely nothing. And I'm still ashamed in saying this. I mean, once you go for an option, once you found the company, you make a plan. You wish you will reach some goals, but I found out that wishing is not enough. And what did we do? It's again a rookie mistake, which is not planning clearly our moves. And again, I found myself doing the same mistakes that I did with my rock band, basically. Because we were, again, not willing to compromise. We discussed for years about IP. I wanted to write the patent. He didn't want to write it. And we remained stuck there. And that's very sad, because it could have been a great thing. And we also had different interests. At that time, I was working in Doha. I was working in Denmark. And we had a difficult time to match ourselves. So we can say that there was also this kind of lack of commitment again, which is really upsetting from my point of view. Actually, this was one of the first time that I really started to consider 3D printing, because to realize the structures that we were talking about, there was no other way than going for 3D. And I started studying really with high intensity 3D printing in that occasion. So still something good came out from that experience, but it still burns. I cannot lie, it still burns that we didn't really reach our goals. And I make it very short because it still really burns. But this brings us to the last D, the 3D development. Development as a synonym as evolution, growth, maturing. And the quote that I decided to put for this third D comes from Evolution song, actually, back to rock. And is never let your fear decide your fate. This is a sentence that keeps sounding in my mind. It's like I should have put a tattoo on my skin, but I think I don't need it because it's always in my head. Because if you let your fear decide your fate, then there are going to be opportunities that you will miss. In my case, if I let fear decide in my fate, when these two guys, Alessio and Valerio, came to me saying, we have this idea, would you like to join our project? If I was still afraid of failing, I would have said just, no, thank you, I'm done. It still burns. I'm done with it. But I didn't. I said, yes, I want to. I'm looking forward to see what's your idea. And less than a year after we shut down the ice glass company, I found myself signing the papers to open the startup SphereCube. And look, you see, this is the second picture with people having this large check, because these guys won the same competition that we did. So it's like history repeating. But now we are not going to repeat the same mistakes. I'm not going to repeat the same mistakes. What are we doing with our startup? We are addressing the composite industry issues. We are addressing problems like expensive production, high time to market, low flexibility, and high skilled labor. And to do so, we developed the system, a 3D printing system, which is able to use high performance material, which is able to reduce the amount of production scraps and to reduce time to market, increase flexibilities, and take the best that you can from 3D printing and bring this into the composites world. And we're doing it with a system that is not, it's not a wish, it's not just an idea, but we have a clear mission and a clear vision. We aim to reduce the environmental impact of composite production by reducing the use of molds and by reducing processing scraps. And we know we can enhance the sustainability of the entire manufacturing sector by exploiting 3D printers, which are less energy consuming and which can use biocompatible materials. And we have the aim of building a supply chain which is 100% sustainable. We know exactly who we are, where we're going, what do we want to do. And we're doing so going for IP. This time, we are all aligned and we want to go to protect our idea, and we are patenting our technology, which is actually using thermoset resins and continuous fiber reinforcement. This is, as you can see on the left, the typical patent design and graph, and on the right, what we aim to achieve by this year, our 3D printer ready to run, ready to work. This is the team. These two guys are the ones who are brilliant and which dragged me to this experience, this new experience. And as you can see, the team is quite large and we are bringing on board more people. It is real. This time it is real. And 3D printing is making this real for us. So now I don't have the red square because right now we don't have anything red. We are working on our issues. We know what they are. But this time I can confidently say that we have a brilliant idea and we are committed to develop and to do the work. And we not only have a convincing business plan, but we are continuously improving it. We have a strong bond between us members because we work together, but it's not just that. It's not that we are friends, but we push each other. We continuously put each other in uncomfortable positions. We are open to criticism. Now we are ready to listen to the critics and to make changes to our idea, to our business plan, to some things. But we are not changing our identity. We are changing the way we are going to reach our goals. And last but not least, we are a very team. Differences are our added value. What happened at this point of my life is that I'm actually putting together my talent, which was writing. I still have it. And the knowledge that I acquired during all my path. I have the chance to put them together and to use them within this startup, within SphereCube. And a small thing that happened, but not so small, when I was in Doha, 2015, I was running in the Corniche, which is this beautiful bayside sidewalk. And while I was running, I was overtaken by a boy which was running using these external prostheses, the flex-foot cheetah. And it was like the wind was carrying him. It was like he was the most beautiful and incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. He was running beautifully, elegantly, much more than I was. He was faster than me, and he was so happy to do it. He was smiling at everyone. And I had to stop myself because seeing that, for me, it was like seeing and believing that anything is possible in life. Anything. And what I love is that it can't be a casualty. that right now, one of the business cases we are using in our Sphere Cube startup is this external prosthesis, the FlexFoot Cheetah. Now, we know that with our system, we can reduce the time of production of this prosthesis, and we can definitely make them much more affordable for anyone who wants to use them. So we are working towards this goal, and this tells me that there is a line in life, and nothing happens as a casualty. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. And with this, I want to leave you with one question that I had to face quite recently, actually. My older son is 4 years old, and during Christmas, we were quarantined. There was not a good mood in the family, I have to say. And one evening, I was putting him to bed, and he asked me the question, is Santa Claus real? And I had to stop myself. I had to really force myself not to give a stupid answer or a, I don't know, not valuable one. I took my time. I smiled at him, helped him to get into his pajamas, and then I told him this. I said, listen up, son. In life, whatever you believe is real, it is. If you believe that Santa Claus is real, then he is real. You are empowering him. You are bringing him to life. I said, do you believe in monsters? He said, no, mommy. I said, okay, then we don't need to look below your bed to check if a monster is there. Because if you don't believe in them, they have absolutely no power on you. They do not exist. And while I was saying this to him, I was reminding myself that whatever we believe is going to make sense. That we are free to choose what are we empowering. So we have to make sure that every day we are choosing the right things, the people, the knowledge, the lesson, everything that makes us closer to our goals. With this, I come to the end of my presentation. I invite you to visit the SphereCube website and to follow us on social media. And I'm also open to any possible question you might have after this crazy presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Eleonora. It was wonderful. And I see that we already have some questions. Feel free to keep putting them in. If we have time, we'll answer as many as possible. And upvote as well any questions you would like to have answered. So the first question I see is, if you had a favorite D, what would it be?
I think it would be defeat, because it was a hard time. Also, telling everyone that you have been defeated, that you failed, is not easy. And also, when we started to work as a startup with SphereCube, my friend Valerio asked me, what was wrong? What went wrong with your first company? And at that time, I had to really force myself to sit down and write down what went wrong. And that helped me a lot in actually realizing what I was doing in the wrong way. So that's my favorite.
I would understand that. I think it's admirable. And then another question that was upvoted was, would you want to maybe expand your career to the Middle East?
Yeah, why not? Sure. Absolutely. I love Middle East, and it's a part of my heart. It's a part of my identity as well right now. So definitely, totally open. Oh, I can't hear you.
Myself for some reason. So the last question we have is, do you see your application to be useful for the spare parts for composite technologies for aerospace, transportation, or shipping industries?
Absolutely. I didn't mention it in my presentation, but if you visit the website, you will see all the possible application of this technology. And it is absolutely great for aerospace, for automotive. It is great for biomedical application, sport industries. So it's very flexible. So it's only a matter of building a small 3D printer or a larger 3D printer, but the system is fully scalable and the application can be varied.
Well, thank you so much, Eleonora. It was a great
You're welcome.
presentation.